Imagine waking up one day to find your hometown underwater. Not because of a flood or a storm, but because the sea has slowly swallowed it forever. This isn't science fiction, it's happening right now, and if sea levels keep rising, entire countries could vanish off the map by the year 2100. In this video, we're diving into the alarming effects of rising sea levels and the countries that may not survive this century. Stay tuned. Some of these names might surprise you. Why sea levels are rising? Let's start with the basics. Why is the sea rising in the first place? There are two main reasons. First, melting glaciers and ice sheets, especially in Greenland and Antarctica. Second, thermal expansion. As ocean water warms up due to climate change, it physically expands. Since 1880, the average global sea level has risen by about 8 inches. That might not sound like much, but the rate is speeding up. Right now, we're gaining over 3 millimeters per year, and by 2100, scientists project we could see a rise of 2 to 7 feet, depending on carbon emissions and global temperature rise. That's enough to erase coastlines, displace millions, and completely submerge some of the world's most vulnerable nations. The biggest losers. Countries at risk? Now let's talk about the countries most at risk of disappearing. 1. The Maldives. First up, the Maldives. A tropical paradise in the Indian Ocean made up of over 1,000 coral islands. It's also the lowest lying country on Earth, with an average elevation of just 1.5 meters, about 5 feet above sea level. If projections hold true, the Maldives could become uninhabitable by the end of the century. The government has even explored buying land in other countries, including Australia and India, to relocate its population. 2. Kiribati. Kiribati, pronounced Kier-Ubaz, is a remote island nation in the Pacific, with many of its islands sitting barely 2 meters above sea level. What makes Kiribati especially tragic is its cultural richness. Its people have lived there for centuries. But now, with rising tides and frequent storm surges, it's not a question of if, but when the nation will need to evacuate. Kiribati has already purchased land in Fiji for potential future relocation. 3. Tuvalu. Another Pacific island nation, Tuvalu has become a symbol of climate injustice. Despite contributing virtually nothing to global emissions, it's on the front lines of climate change. With just 11,000 citizens and most of the country sitting less than 2 meters above sea level, Tuvalu could be one of the first nations to disappear entirely. Its leaders have made passionate speeches at the UN, including one made standing knee-deep in seawater just to drive the point home. 4. Marshall Islands. With major U.S. military ties and a strategic location, the Marshall Islands are more than just coral atolls. They're home to around 60,000 people who are rapidly running out of land. By 2050, many parts of the Marshall Islands will face daily flooding during high tides. Entire communities are already considering abandoning ancestral lands as seawater intrudes into their homes and freshwater supplies. 5. Bangladesh. Unlike the tiny island nations, Bangladesh is a densely populated country with over 160 million people, but more than 30 million of them live in low-lying coastal areas, putting them at extreme risk. By 2100, Bangladesh could lose up to 17% of its land due to sea level rise, displacing tens of millions of people. It's not just about land, it's about food, water, housing, and survival. 6. The Netherlands. Surprised? You shouldn't be. A third of the Netherlands lies below sea level, but unlike many others, the Dutch have spent centuries fighting back, with massive dikes, seawalls, and advanced water management systems. They may not disappear, but the cost of staying above water is enormous and growing. The Netherlands could be the blueprint for survival, or a warning sign if systems fail. 7. Seychelles and Micronesia. Smaller island nations like Seychelles and Micronesia are also under severe threat. Their coral-based structures can't withstand long-term submersion. Tourism-based economies will crumble, and biodiversity will vanish along with the land. The human toll. This isn't just about maps and coastlines, it's about people. By 2100, rising seas could displace over 250 million people worldwide. These aren't just climate refugees, they're families losing homes, identities, and homelands. Imagine having to abandon your country forever. Imagine trying to preserve a flag, a culture, a language without a land to call your own. Here's the big question. Can we stop it? The truth is, we can slow it down. By cutting emissions, investing in clean energy, protecting wetlands, and building smarter cities, we can buy time. Technology and global cooperation will be key. But make no mistake, the clock is ticking. Some damage is already locked in. The question now is, how bad will we let it get?